International Labor Day. Shout out to all hard workers out there as their sweat, energy, passion, and tenacity have been supporting the growth of the economy. And in this episode, we are going to discuss and understand what the word labor means, learn the history behind it, and take a look at the current condition of labor in Indonesia. Here, people are still debating if the words labor and employee carry the same definition. One way to stop the confusion is actually very simple, using a dictionary. If we take the definition from International Standard, the word labor can be categorized into two types of workers. For example, Cambridge Online Dictionary shows that the word labor also means the workers themselves, especially those who do practical work with their hands, including skilled or unskilled labor. But according to the Comprehensive Dictionary of Indonesian Language, or KBBI, the word labor refers to people who work for somebody else in order to gain earnings. Now, how did it all start? Why May 1st? We bet those are some of the questions popping up in your brain while talking about Labor Day. The history of International Labor Day, or most commonly known as May Day, dated back to the 19th century. It happened when labor union in America, under the flag of Federation of Organized Trades and Labor Union, held a strike at Haymarket in Chicago on May 1st, 1886. They demanded an 8-hour working day instead of a 16-hour working day. Yeah, back in the 19th century, the common working duration is 16 hours per day for 6 days a week. That's pretty inhumane system if we think about it, right? Then in 1889, May 1st was officially declared as a public holiday to commemorate the historic event in Chicago. Of course, the great news affected the labor landscape in Indonesia, but not until 1948. Under former President Sukarno's regime, our country officially declared May 1st as a public holiday through the deliberation of Labor Law Number 12 of 1948. Unfortunately, that only lasted for 18 years. After former President Suharto took office, which marked the start of the new order, he revoked the law as he deemed the labor movement as associated with communist ideology. So from 1967 to 2012, May 1st was not printed red on the calendar. International Labor Day doesn't only mean celebration. In fact, ever since it became a public holiday in Indonesia again in 2014, instead of being a couch potato at home and enjoying the holiday, thousands of workers choose to stage rallies demanding better working conditions that doesn't only benefit the industry moguls, but more importantly, the workers too. This year, labor unions brought up 7 issues, and we're going to highlight 3 of the most important ones to share with you guys. First, the demand of higher wages. Labor unions urged the government to revise Regulation Number 78 of 2015 on wages, signed by President Joko Widodo on October 23, 2015. Why? Laborers feel that such regulation hampers the chance of wage increase, since the minimum wage is determined by basic cost of living for one person per month and the country's economic growth and productivity. General Secretary of All Indonesia United Workers Confederation, Damang Panca, says labor wage increased 40% in 2012. But after that regulation was issued, the increase only reached 8%. So yeah, that has something to do with our country's economic growth, which only reached 4.79% in 2015. Way less if compared to the growth in 2012 that reached 6.17%. Second, no more internship programs. Indonesian Trade Union Confederation, or KSPI, and other unions showed deep concerns related to that issue, as they deem it more alarming than outsourcing systems, which is also far from ideal. Plus, there are no specific policies to guarantee interns' long-term welfare. For example, the wage they earn is not equal to the hours they spend on working, and a lot of cases show that they don't get health and retirement benefits. And third, demanding free services from Social Security Administration body for health. Head of Confederation of Indonesian Worker Union, Said Iqbal, urged the Health Ministry to revoke Regulation number 51 of 2018 on the BPJS sharing payment included in the National Health Security Program. He says the payment system is not in line with the body's merits of health treatments, which are not supposed to be limited to the payment, duration, and type of illness. Out of the 7 complaints raised by laborers, the government has taken 3 into their consideration. First, President Joko Widodo has agreed to revise Regulation number 78 of 2015 on wages as soon as possible. Then, the president also promised to consider building daycare centers at each company building and industrial complex so that workers still have the chance to look after their children while working. And lastly, the government has decided to establish a workforce desk at each regional police building as a place to accommodate the laborers' complaints related to the workforce law. These promises might feel like little snow in the Sahara Desert, but laborers still have a very long journey ahead to fight for what's fair and a just system. And remember, if they hadn't initiated the fight in the first place, there wouldn't have been no 9-to-5 working hours, no overtime compensation, no additional public holiday, and many other benefits for today's workers.